Okay, internet is going to support this. I live out in the woods and I have satellite internet, and we'll just see. I apologize for the boxes to the right. I have a to-do list that I keep putting off. But I'm happy to do yoga with you this morning. Um, One of my favorite students, and of course, all my students are my favorite, but one of my most dedicated and supportive is Nancy. And she asked me yesterday morning, are you going to do something live on Friday morning? And I was like, okay, because um, it turns out that, from what I understand, there's another local yoga instructor who's going to be streaming live on Friday mornings, and Facebook really wasn't working for me, so I was going to discontinue the Friday morning practice, and probably still will, and we'll just start supporting the other yoga instructor in her Friday morning streaming classes. But for this morning, this is for Nancy, and Nancy, like a lot of students, um, would like to improve her warrior one and her balance. And she's probably laughing at me as she hears me say that, because I don't know that she'd put it that way. But we're going to work on some warrior one and some balance today and some other fun things that I know Nancy likes. So, welcome to this morning's yoga practice. And let's see if this is set up to see me. Looks like you can see me. Very good, very good. We're going to start in mountain, and we're going to center with our breath in mountain. And by centering with our breath, what I mean is we'll use focusing on our breath to center our existence, really, to center our mind and our body, connect them together, center ourselves. So start by simply observing your breath. You can stand comfortably. Feet hip distance apart is good for stability, so you don't feel too wobbly. Stand comfortably, find some stillness, and go into it. Become the inner observer, observing your breath, not the doer. You're not doing breathing. You're simply observing your breath. Observing how your body feels in response to your breath. The nice thing about observing your breath is that you don't have to force it. You can just wait for it. It will come on its own. Don't worry. It will come. So you can pause and you can just wait for it and watch that inhale. Observe the way your body naturally inhales. And without any concern whatsoever, you can just wait for it to subside and wait for the exhale, watching it come at its own pace. And this way we slow down quite a bit, don't we? And the yogis say that our life is not numbered in years or days, but in breaths. So if you can allow yourself to slow down and breathe at your natural pace, then you can live longer and enjoy those years, enjoy relaxing through them. So now we do want to do something with our breath though. Notice if you feel a diaphragm going down and coming back up. Your diaphragm is a muscle. It's actually a dome-shaped muscle like this under your rib cage, and it's attached to your lungs. And so when you inhale, it goes down, hopefully. That's the way it's supposed to work. And then it draws the lung volume down and pulls air in like a vacuum behind it. When you exhale, it floats back up, and that pushes the air up and out. So its active position is actually down. So I want you to continue at your breath's natural rate, not trying to quicken it in any way, but observe if your diaphragm is actually going down. You might feel that as though you're breathing more down into your abdominal region. Great. So when you do that, when you consciously do that, and you might not even have to be the doer there, it might be that when you become the observer and you're looking for it, it naturally starts to deepen itself. So when that happens, you are internally massaging all of your internal organs. You're actually tugging on all your muscles, which are all connected by the fascia that interconnects all of our muscles. And so you're helping your body relax. You're sending a signal to your nervous system that you are relaxed. And so everything becomes easier. If I become stressed, if I'm in a situation out in the world and I feel somewhat affronted by something, I'll feel my diaphragm lock up, and then I'll consciously send it down and get that going and relax myself. And that's a better way to respond to the world than from that state of, okay, I feel affronted and now I am going to respond in tension. Tension just begets more tension. So when you observe that in yourself, simply let it go, let the diaphragm go, and respond from a place of stillness. So another moment enjoying your stillness, you can even imagine you're a tree with roots growing into the earth. Spread your toes out wide, make full contact with the ground beneath you, and not the arch, but the entire ball of the foot from left to right and heel from left to right is pushing down, making that firm contact with the earth. Drawing up from there like a tree trunk, nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Belly in helps lift the chest, chin in, tall to the crown of the head. There's more cues from mountain. Like you can picture lengthening both sides of your neck. You can picture lengthening both sides of your torso. Picture lengthening your shoulders away from your hips, but your ears away from your shoulders. Picture lengthening your hips away from your ankles. If you can imagine your pelvic region, you don't want your bucket tipped forward. You want it neutral. So not tipped back either, although that's rare. In our society, we sit a lot, and then when we stand back up, we're still a little bit compressed here, contracted at the hip flexor, and therefore most of us, when we stand up, our hips, our pelvis tilted a little forward. See if you can adjust that with your intention. Squeezing your glutes actually helps. Pointing your tail down. Very nice. Okay, so for this morning, it's going to be a shorter practice, and I'm not going to go through all the circles we generally do, although you can do them while we're in warrior and while we're standing, while I'm talking. But so there's shoulder circles, elbow, wrist, all these kinds of circles. We're going to skip this morning, at least in what I'm broadcasting. But what we are going to do is focus on the feet, because a lot of balance does come from the feet. So I want you to go ahead and really rock that foot front and back, and then side to side, making that contact. You can do some little circles. I like to crack my toes. It's not recommended though. You want to really warm up your foot, making full contact. And then we're going to, let's see. So right now I've got the video on my foot. Maybe I can just bring that up a little bit. We're going to pull the belly in, shift the weight onto the left foot. Your balance comes from your belly and that firm foundation we just created. When you pull your knee up, that helps pull your belly in. So right there with your knee up, you've got some balance, right? And then we're going to step back, set the foot down, and find a comfortable position where our left knee is bent and our right foot is back. Got some scary bees buzzing around me right now. Our hips are forward. Now notice my back foot is at an angle. That kind of helps with the stability. We're going to inhale up. I straighten my front leg when I inhale up. And then we're going to exhale, sinking down. You can walk that front foot. See how my toes are moving? You can walk that front foot a little more forward to get a little lower. I'm going to put the hands on the hips, and we're going to do some warrior one squats for stability. We're inhaling up, exhaling lower. Again, you can walk that foot forward if you need to. Inhale up, exhale lower. Make sure your tail's down, no arching in the low back. So if your hands on your low back helps that feel good, that's okay. Inhaling up, exhaling, lower. So when you do that, you're lowering your center of gravity, you're engaging your muscles, your thighs have to work more, and your belly hopefully is pulled in. We've been concentrating on the drawstring, bringing the hips together, the sit bones go out slightly, and the zip up, feeling the rectus abdominis will tilt or pull on the pubic bone when you engage that muscle, which tilts that pelvis back to a neutral position. All those things will help you here. So let's just breathe here for a minute. Good. Inhaling up, exhaling down as low as you're comfortable going, and breathe here for another couple breaths. Diaphragmatically, of course. Now you'll notice if you start to close your eyes, that challenges your balance for some reason. Okay, so when your left leg is starting to fatigue out and you're like, okay, you can either just straighten and come back in, or you can say, I'm done with this side for right now. So notice I just turned my heel up. This is now I'm in like a runner's lunge version of Warrior One. And once again, I can do squats, strengthening my legs. And then I probably want to just come back up, right? So what if I pull that knee in, belly in, and set it back down? Now we can do some hip circles. We skipped them earlier, but maybe that'd be a nice break. When we do this, we're stretching out the front of the hip. Go as slow as you want to go. Maybe I should step back a little further so I'm not headless. Good to see you all this morning. Sorry my lighting's not great, but my porch is lovely and it's sunny and I can hear birds chirping, so this is where I want to be. Okay, next foot. So starting in mountain, you can push that tail down, belly in, chin in, tall to the crown of the head. Exhale, releasing tension in your body, sending energy down through your feet. Your next inhale, the belly in, will help lift the heart. So feel this, if you feel that diaphragm going up and you support that and follow that with the pelvic floor pulling up and the abdominals pulling up, that should help lift your heart, shoulders down. The lift can continue through the crown of the head. And then we're going to shift our weight onto our right foot. So onto the right foot, belly in, knee up. And then we're reaching back to our Warrior One. So get comfortable here. Remember your feet, you want to be making full contact front and back, side to side, except for the arches, which can remain lifted. And once you're situated, you can start inhaling up, exhaling down. Warrior One squats. You can walk that front foot forward a little bit more with your toes. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Balance might be easier if you keep your hands on your hips or maybe out to the side a little bit. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And what if we turn and get that heel up? What does that do? Can we keep our tail down, belly in, drawstring, zip up? How are our ankles doing? Feeling very strong this morning? Our legs, our calves, everything working for us? Just like in the beginning where we observed our breath, you can do that now, waiting for it. As you feel yourself inhale, you can lift up. As you feel yourself exhale, you can lower down. Watch that diaphragm. It helps you know you're relaxed. You're not holding extra tension in your face, neck, or shoulders. Isn't that amazing? Just by watching the diaphragm, you feel these other things relax. Is that just me? All right, when you feel like you've had enough, you can bring that left knee up, belly in, and foot down. And I don't mirror my instructions, so if you're mirroring me and it's the other foot, that's fine. But now we've got our legs warmed up a little bit. We're going to do another challenge. This is Lori's challenge right now. Another yoga student, Lori, she likes it. I don't think Nancy does, but Nancy, you have just strengthened your legs. So see what happens when you step back onto the tip top of the toe. You've got your balance here, right? Inhaling, exhaling. And that inhale, you feel yourself pull up and in. Exhale, even more up and in. And then lower down a little bit more. Send that leg further back. I know this is challenging, so if that's too much, you can bring it up, but this is how we get better. Things don't usually stay the same. We either backslide or we improve. So keep pushing your movement in the direction you would like to go. You can come up, tiny dancer, and you can push yourself back, again, up onto the top of the foot. And then when you're ready, set your heel back, hands on hips, down into warrior one. And maybe straighten this leg if you're feeling it in the hip and the butt. So if you want to let's just do a little pyramid here with our legs straight, both of them. This is angle pose or pyramid pose. Hands on the hips. We're going to inhale, look up a little bit as long as the low back is comfortable with that. Exhale, hinging at the hip, come down with a flat back. If you've got blocks or you feel stable enough, you can come down lower. And you can come back up. Hopefully that gave the thigh a little bit of a break. We were working some other muscles there. So now when we're in warrior one, do you feel stable? Did I work your left thigh too much? Do you not feel stable? Hopefully you feel more stable. Hopefully at least that back right leg feels stable. And know that the more you do this, the more stable you'll become, doing it consciously. If we just go through the motions and we do it quickly, we won't necessarily get more stable. And sometimes in my classes, I am guilty of that and instructing that way. But if we slow down, take it slow and do this right, you will get stronger every day. So belly in, bringing that right knee up, setting it down. Let's inhale up. Exhale, hinging at the hips. I just want to roll my back. So I'm going to inhale part way up, exhale all the way down. I have a low back that wants to arch. So I don't know about my listeners here, and I'll try and rotate so that you can hear me. I know talking to the world behind me doesn't help the video audio. But so for those of us that have low backs that get a little ouchy, you just want to hang like this. Releasing all tension. And so you're stretching out your back muscles when you do this. You can bend your knees, and when you do that, you're stretching your low back even further. And you can go up and down a few times. But again, we don't want to do this robotically. We don't want to do it automatically in a way that doesn't lead to long-term benefits or even really short-term improvement. Do this slowly. Take a breath maybe before you move. And feel your hamstring. Feel that stretch out. Release tension on your exhale. And then bring the butt down and see what you feel there. What are you feeling across your low back and hips? Breathe into it. Exhale, release tension. Butt down a little bit more even. If you have to shift your weight onto your hands a little bit, coming into a kind of small posture where you're in a squat without having your knees way out. How does that feel? Can you release tension in it? And then use your hands to push yourself back up on the fingertips. Inhale nice and long. Exhale, hang down one more time. Butt down. Release tension, belly in, uncurling up, stretching out that back as we come all the way up. Maybe clasp the hands and stretch. Maybe a side stretch. Other side stretch. Kind of skipped it in the beginning, so if you want to do any stretching here, we have time. We can do little circles maybe, torso circles. Slow and steady today. I know Fridays, my theme is usually Fun Flow Fridays, so I'm probably going to have to rename this title because maybe this isn't so fun and flow oriented. Maybe this is slow and steady. but that doesn't have the same letter in the beginning as, Friday. Maybe it should be slow and steady Saturdays. Anyway, I digress. Let's put our feet hip distance apart and try bringing our low back nice and flat, our left knee up. Maybe even hug the knee. Squeeze that knee in. Belly in. And then we're going to touch the ground behind us. So here we are. We can lift up a little bit and we are in a balance pose. Even if you need to put your toe down, maybe that is a balance challenge for those of you watching and practicing along. You determine the amount of challenge. And then see if you can go back a little further with your toe. You can even press into the ground with that toe. When you do, you get this hip flexor stretch here. You can squeeze the glute. Whoa, I'm feeling a little wobbly. Let's see why. Am I pressing into my whole right foot? Toes spread. Right foot making complete contact. Is my belly in? I can lift up a little bit. Lower back down, kind of like our squats. Lifting, lowering, lifting, lowering. This will strengthen your butt, your thighs, your belly. Your ankles. And when you feel like it, you can put that foot back. Hands on hips, tail down. Maybe you feel like a little back bend here, keeping that tail and hips down, using your hands for support there. Great. Inhaling up. Do you feel more stable in your warrior one? Now this is a resting pose, right? After that challenge we just completed. One more time, inhaling at your own pace. Exhaling. All right. Your balance one more time. Bring that knee in and set it down. All right. So that was our Warrior One challenge for today. We should do a few other things. I'm thinking about Nancy specifically because this video is for Nancy and for everyone else who will benefit from it. Let's inhale up. We're going to exhale, hinging at the hips. Bring the hands onto the legs. Inhale long through your tail and your crown, stretching out your back. Let your hands go down. We're going to put the right foot way back. This is a little bit easier when you have blocks to put your hands on. And again, I'm sorry, the video looks pretty dark, so I'm sorry that lighting is not better. But you're here in runner's lunge. You're going to put your knee down, top of the foot down. And if you need to, stay right here and stretch out that hip flexor. That's going to help release our body's tendency to tip our pelvis forward. Use your breath to release tension there. If you feel stable, you can come up on one thigh. If you continue to feel stable, tail down, you can lift up, enjoying a little back bend. If you want, you can put your hands behind you and even support your head as you look up. If that feels good, you can massage your neck there, or you can simply squeeze those arms together and then come down to a twist. I like to wrap my back hand around my waist, lengthening out here. And we're going to come down, put a hand on the ground and twist. Twisting open. If you need to adjust your knee and your foot or use a block, that's fine. Lengthening through your spine as you twist open. Exhale the hand down. Left knee goes back now. And we get yoga push-up time. So for yoga push-up time, you want your knees pretty far back. Sometimes we even cross the ankles behind us, which will help us drop those hips down. We want our hands pulled in close to our body and closer to our hips than our chest is. So make sure you give yourself enough room so that when you inhale, you push up, and you exhale, you can keep your arms close to your body, bending towards a 90-degree angle. And notice you'll have to bring your hands back in order to accomplish that. All right, but this is our gentle fun, slow and steady day. So we're not going to do lots of chaturanga push-ups. We're going to lower down, slide the hands forward, tail down, enjoy a nice seal, or come down lower for a sphinx, for a cobra today. Smiling, setting ourselves down easy. Let's pull the pelvic floor in, squeeze the ankles together, clasp the hands, maybe the unusual clasping way, and lift up into a low boat. Exhale, come down. You can look in the opposite direction that you normally would, maybe massage your low back or anything that feels tight. If your feet tend to go out like a duck, you can bring the toes in and let the heels go out. And then we're going to come back to child's pose. Great for the low back. You can support your child's pose by putting your forearms here, clasping your arms and putting your forehead on your forearms. Or you can stretch out, walking your fingertips forward. Then we're going to curl our toes underneath us, come up to down dog. Press your weight back in your down dog. You're going to press your heart towards your ankles and lengthen from your fingertips back through your tail, pressing that weight back. Release your hamstrings down. If you need to walk the dog, stretching one hamstring at a time, that's fine. Otherwise, you can stretch both back at the same time, a little bit more efficient. Inhaling into the stretch and exhale, releasing tension. You're going to look up at your hands and you're going to hop your feet ever so lightly up. So think about hopping your butt up and your feet will follow. Lengthening out once again, long through the tail and the crown. Exhale, hang down. Release that neck and shoulders, release those legs. When you're ready, bend the knees deeply. Belly in, uncurl up. Maybe tail down, little back bend. Are you ready to do that on the other side? I am. So, without further ado, I'm going to shift my weight onto my right foot, bring my left foot back. Now notice last time I swan dived, yogi's choice. Some people like to swan dive down. Some people just want to step back and then come into their runner's lunge. So you do what you want to do. You can always inhale up, swan dive down. You want to work your feet to where you've got your right knee right above your right heel and set your left knee down, top of the foot down. You're pressing into that back shin and top of the foot. Hands on hips, tail down. If you need to stay on blocks lower, that's fine. Hands on thighs, fine as well. You've got that tail down, zip up, drawstring, and your low belly. You can support yourself into a nice, this is called monkey posture in yoga, and I still haven't figured out why. I've never seen a monkey do this. Then again, I don't know that I've seen a lot of monkeys. You can do your twist. I mean, they don't do this at the zoo, but maybe they do it in the wild. I think the pose could be called splits pose because the advanced version of it, you are in the splits. So I kind of try to work myself towards that because I would like to be able to do the splits, but there's a fine line between overstretching and then you're going to come back more tense and more tight the next day because your body feels traumatized and it's going to protect you, and therapeutic stretching where you're going to come back looser the next day. Basically just focus on relaxing and keeping an eye on that diaphragm, that movement up and down in your belly, relaxing you. Okay, so we're going to go back to our yoga push-up again. Set your hands upright, set your knees up. You can curl your toes underneath you. This time you don't have to cross them behind your butt. Inhaling up, exhaling, lower down. If you want to come back up, you can. Lower down again. You can bring your tail down, situate your legs so that you can have both toes out, lifting up in a cobra. And then exhale, reach back. If you can reach your feet, you can do a bow. But you know what? Come to think of it, a lot of students can't do that. So we're going to flex our feet and do grasshopper instead. Shoulders roll up and back and down. Elbows come up. My hair is probably way in the way. This is grasshopper. Inhaling, lift. And exhale, slide your hands out in front of you. Feel those shoulders go back, tail down. Stretching through the heart feels so good. Smiling, sliding your hands back to push-up position, and you can push up into your plank. Let's just stay in plank for a moment. Deep breath. Feel that wrap that we have talked about in other classes, where your transverse abdominis is wrapping around your abdominals, lengthening, and then you can push back to your down dog. So many enjoyable things happening in the down dog. So be sure to enjoy them all. I like to shift my hips from side to side in down dog. Okay, so we're going to be coming to sitting, and you can do that in different ways. I like to hop to sitting. Other people want to put their knees down. Maybe try the hop. If it doesn't work, you can always put your knees down. So hopping, I will do my best here. Yep, so I just hop to small, and then I'm going to put my butt down. However way you get here, we are now in staff. Let me see if I can move this. I can see you. You can see all my books I need to sort through. Apologize for that. It's actually a lot better. It's like a third of what it was a couple months ago. So I have a previous career in landscape design and being a science teacher. And anyway, I've got lots of books to sort through and give to people. If you would like any of those books, let me know. I'm mostly looking for my yoga books, yoga therapy especially, breathing, meditation, and I'm letting go of the rest. Now I'm headless. That'll work. Okay, so we are in staff pose. And we are going to start by putting our hands behind us and lifting our heart. Actually, let's bring our hands even further behind us and enjoy a nice stretch in our shoulders and our elbows. You can do one at a time. If you feel like it, you can inhale and exhale, lifting up. Set yourself back down. Maybe stretch your arms a little closer together, further back. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, lifting up. Beautiful. Then we're going to forward fold, reaching our heart forward first. You can have your knees bent. You want your back flat, not rounded, as you reach your heart up over your toes. And then exhale, releasing tension. Uncurling up. We're going to take our left knee. Sorry, excuse me, Pickle. People are trying to see what I'm doing. We're going to take our, actually, you know what? Before you cross it over, take it here and just squeeze it. So for anybody with a knee issue, you want to massage and squeeze that knee. Any type of issue you're having, whether it is carpal tunnel or what am I trying to think of? Rotator cuff, knee, anything with the joints. If you can move the joint without putting tension on it, so like earlier we were standing, there was tension on the knee, but now there's no tension on the knee. So we're going to squeeze and improve range of motion without any weight bearing on that joint. Breathing into it, releasing tension. That squeeze helps detoxify anything in there, squeezing it out. We're going to cross it over. See, normally I put the cat outside and when I'm doing yoga inside, but maybe I need to put the cat inside if I'm doing the yoga outside. So here I put my shin and my elbow and I squeeze. You can feel that release here, it's okay to massage it if that helps. All right, and then after releasing tension with the squeeze, we're going to inhale tall. And we're going to exhale, allowing a twist. When I say allowing, not forcing, but allowing. And as you exhale, your belly pulls in, right? So you naturally have more room to allow this twist. And both sit bones are down, so that you can sit up tall through your spine, chin in, tall to the crown of the head. And then, again, exhale, allowing more room for the twist. Even allow your left hip to go back and your right hip to go forward. So your pelvis is doing this movement with you. One more deep breath. Exhale, allowing more of a twist. Then we're going to inhale nice and tall. Come back to center. Excuse me, pickle. So we're going to bring our left leg underneath us. And sometimes we do this cow's face thing where we stack our knees on top of each other. That's kind of advanced. So if that feels good, go ahead and do that. If it doesn't, leave that foot here. So even with the foot here, Nancy, I found in my notes recently that you can do the turnaround even with your left knee up, the foot here. We can turn around to the other side. So much fun, right? This is how we have fun in yoga class. So we end up like this, but we wanted to start here. We want to squeeze that knee, massage it, especially this one, right? This is the right knee for most of us. Breathing deeply, exhale, releasing tension. Let that squeeze detoxify that muscle. And then we'll cross over and shin and elbow. Inhale nice and tall. And if your shin doesn't go in your elbow, that's fine. You just reach for whatever you can reach for and take the hand to stretch out that hip and butt area that is getting the stretch, releasing tension, breathing in, exhale, releasing tension. One more time. You can squeeze, you can inhale, exhale, releasing all the tension. And then, we have to do the twist. Okay, so sit bones down, belly in nice and tall, allowing a twist to the back. Again, nice and tall. Exhale, belly in, allowing that twist. Notice if you can, allow your right hip to go back, your left hip to go forward, or opposite if you're on the other leg. Lengthening, exhaling, allowing the twist. Beautiful. Okay, now we get to bring the front leg back. See if we feel like doing any cow's face or face of light. I don't know the Sanskrit word for it. I just know it translates to either cow's face or face of light. So massaging out anything you feel there. That's a very tight pose for me. Ooh, I've got pictures of me doing it like 10 years ago as though it was nothing, but that was 10 years ago. And when I looked at my notes recently from the 10 years ago, that's when I found that, hey, even if people can't do that with the knee here, we can do our fun. So let's come up onto our feet and rotate around, and we're back where we started. So if you like this pose, there's arms that go to it as well. But I think it would stress out my shoulders to really do it. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate. I've got my left knee up, so my right elbow goes up. And then if I'm really gentle on the shoulder, maybe I can reach that left shoulder up. But I have met students who say that they were injured trying to do that. But specifically what they were trying to do was reverse prayer hands, which is where you make a prayer hand behind your back. I'll go really gently. But that injury was from the same type of thing that doing this behind your back would do, right? You've got the shoulder back. You're trying to get your hand up behind you. So just be real gentle with that. I'm not sure I want to be teaching people with vulnerable shoulders to do anything similar to that. So let's do our shoulders back and down, slow and steady, squeezing those shoulders. And then we're going to come onto the back and it's going to feel good. Excuse me, kitty. Excuse me. All right, inhaling up. Exhale, chin tucks in, roll back. Stretch out. Enjoy your stretch. We can do a side stretch, a long stretch, a side stretch, a long stretch. You can flex your feet, point your toes, whatever's clever. Bring your knees up. I can't see you at all. You can see me, but I want to see you too, so we're going to do this. Okay. So here we are. And we're going to hug our knees. And we're going to put a knee up or a leg up. We're going to do a little bit of our ab training that we've been working on. So we've got the drawstring action, hips drawing together, sit bones flare out a bit. And we've got the zip up, lengthening through the sacrum and the tail, tilting that pelvis or pubic bone up. And we're going to keep the right elbow on the floor. Inhale, and then exhale, pulling everything in, left elbow to right knee. And then we'll switch, exhale, and go a little faster. Whatever works for you, make sure that your neck remains relaxed. And maybe go a little slower so that you're able to keep that low back flat. Keep your drawstring and your zip up. Inhale, relaxing. Exhale, pulling everything down in. Inhale, relaxing everything down, lower back down, belly down. Yeah. A few more times. Okay. We can hug our knees, do some little knee circles. And put our feet down. We're going to put our feet down and we're going to rock our pelvis. So we're rocking the pelvis back, tipping it back on our exhale. Inhale, we can create that little arch in our back while we tip it forward. Exhale, tip it back. Inhale, tip it forward. One more time. Exhale, tipping it back, lengthening. Let's come to neutral and then tip the left hip down, right hip up. Exhale, neutral, inhale, neutral. Exhale, right hip goes down, left hip goes up. Release, inhale. Exhale, right hip down again, left hip up. I'm not great at these. I just started doing them myself, but it's good practice. All right, so now go in any motion you want to. You can do around the clock where you've got 12, 3, 6, and 9 by going 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. Or you can work on whatever part of that was most meaningful to you. So you can just go round and round, or you can just work front to back or side to side as is appropriate for you. I feel like my left hip wants to be up, so I really want to work that right hip up. What we're looking for with these exercises is balance. So if you feel like you're out of balance, you use the conscious breath and exercise to bring yourself towards neutral, healthy alignment. Let's do a bridge. Inhale long, exhale, curl that tailbone, lengthen through that low back, and lift. Exhale, situate yourself a little bit better. Squeeze the glutes and maybe lift even higher. Careful with your neck. Keep the nose towards the ceiling. Any strain in the neck means back off. Keep that bowling ball curve underneath your neck. You don't want the neck to be long against the ground. Squeezing those glutes, lifting higher, and then lengthening through the tail, keeping that curl of the tail even towards the nose while you lower down one vertebrae at a time. Releasing everything. Inhale, you can tilt forward a little bit. Exhale, tilt, curl, squeeze, lift. And sometimes it's nice to clasp our hands and work our shoulders underneath us a little bit. Keep that nose to the ceiling, healthy curve in your neck. You can squeeze and lift. Squeezing the glutes, maybe you even get so strong that you can center a leg a little bit and lift. Maybe that's not good on your neck though, so I don't know. Maybe we'll leave that alone. When you're ready, you can uncurl. Now, if you want to stay in a supported bridge, you can work a block or a bolster or something underneath you and just hang out there for 5 minutes, which I'd actually highly recommend. It'd be kind of boring video, and I don't have anything with me right now to support myself with. But if you're at home, I kind of recommend getting something, maybe a block or the foam roller. I tend to roll side to side if I use that, but a blanket or a bolster to prop yourself up in your bridge, supported bridge, and then you can lengthen your legs and you can just let those hip flexors unwind. So we can be conscious of our posture laying down, just like we would be conscious of our posture in mountain. Laying down is mountain. It's just mountain horizontal instead of vertical. We call it Shavasana for final relaxation posture when we let our legs kind of open and our arms open. But let's consider it to be mountain for right now. Let's lengthen through the crown of our head. Maybe bring our chin in to lengthen that back of the neck. We can do that when we're not in bridge. It's very healthy to do that. And then let it be neutral and shake to say no, or just turn, one ear to the ground, release tension. And at your own pace, you can go to the other side. Once you feel your neck and shoulders release there, you can come back up. Let's take our hands and reach them away from our body. Kind of reach those shoulders away from our ears. And notice what we can feel in our torso. Do we have a little arch in our low back? Is there something we can do? Like maybe bring the feet back up, do that pelvic tilt again. Lower that back down flatter. Carefully slide the legs down, keeping that low back flat. Now what about the drawstring and zip up here? Can we draw the hips together, spiraling the thighs in and down? The sit bones go out a little bit. And then when we relax, I don't know if it makes much difference, but let's not relax from it now. Let's just do mountain. So we've got our toes forward. Imagine you're standing. Let's just do this as a pose for a minute, lifting our toes up, breathing deeply. Exhale that belly in, still working the hips together, sit bones or the back out. Maybe we even reach our toes towards each other. And we can exhale, releasing. Inhale, exhale, let's bring them back together. Belly in, keep working your low back down. Inhale, opening up. One more time, exhale, drawstring, zip up, thighs spiraling in, toes go towards each other. And then relax. Feet can relax out, hands can be palm up, making full contact with the ground below you, relaxing all muscles, nothing left to engage in Shavasana. Breathing, relaxing your forehead, scalp, all the contents inside your skull, relaxing your face, then your smile, your throat, and your neck, and your heart, and your shoulders, and your arms. Just feel everything melting into the earth, layer by layer, relaxing the wrists and the palms and the fingers and the fingernails. The skin relaxes, all the fleshy parts and bony parts let go. Inhaling back up to the crown of the head and then exhaling relaxation down the face and neck to the chest and back. Inhale into the chest and back, spreading your lung capacity as long as you can. Exhaling slowly. If your chin is tucked in just a little bit, maybe you can close the epiglottis a little bit and hear that sound of your exhale a little bit. You can slow it down that way. Let's inhale into our belly and exhale slowly. And then relax tension. If you need to shake out your head again after that, that's fine. Let's breathe into all of our chest and back symmetrically, noticing if one side is more full than the other. Exhale, release tension. Just being conscious and aware of our breathing practice. Are we stretching out? Are we breathing in the same on both sides? It's okay if we're not. Just be aware of yourself. Know yourself. Know where you're at and what direction you're heading. Be captain of your own, creating the body that you'd like to live in, the life that you'd like to live in, the emotional space that you'd like to operate from, letting go of negative emotions and tensions that aren't serving you. Maybe a few more times. Mentally cleansing. For a few breaths, just let your breath wash your mind, like windshield wipers or something, just cleansing out that which is not serving you. Don't worry, all the important stuff will still be there when you come back from relaxing. Just letting go and cleansing stuff that is getting in your way. Otherwise, just cleansing it out, letting it go. So emotionally and mentally feeling good, released, restored, sending that diaphragm down, breathing into the low belly, the hips, the pelvic floor. Make sure you release those areas on your exhale, relaxing the butt, the hip flexors, the thighs, the knees and hamstrings, shins and calves, ankles and feet, toes and toenails, the skin, the flesh, and the bones all relax. Inflammation is just holding tension. You can choose to let it go. Breathe into it. Exhale, release it, let it go. So there's more space to breathe health and healing into. filling up your body with light and prana, life force energy, as well as oxygen. Breathe it into every cell. Detoxifying on your exhales. Nurturing, bringing in life force energy and nutrition to your cells on your inhales. And exhale, let's gently bring our knees up and give ourselves a hug. Squeezing everything out. And then we can once again inhale the good stuff in. Let's twist over. Let's twist over to our right first, actually. Lengthening through your spine. Right hand on the outside of the left knee. Palm open. Open the pec major and minor. Long through the neck and spine. You can turn and look in that direction. Releasing tension. Stay here for as many breaths as you like before switching sides. Maybe squeezing in the center before going to the other side. Releasing your grip, releasing tension. Releasing your grip on life, on those you love, including yourself. Letting yourself be free. Maybe stretching out in Shavasana one more time, feeling very free. Letting those around you be free as well. We're going to roll onto our side and slowly back up to sitting. Looking at all the tubs behind me, books that could soon be yours. Let me know if you're interested. Okay, do I have any landscape designers out there interested in ornamental horticulture? Find a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to your heart, feeling the love. Lift it up in gratitude. Exhale, bringing love from the universe back into your heart center. Namaste.